Hello, 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 people. Back at it again. Another episode of The World is Burning. And yes, the world is still burning. I'm joined today with my friend Simon.
You alright, guys?
Yeah, he's going to chip in. He's got some good insights into the world, so it's always nice to get another take on this. Shout out to the 640 subscribers. Love you all, guys. Keep it coming. Love the community. Love to hear where you're going. And yes, we're back on the national debt again. This thing just blows my mind. And boom, we've just gone up another million people. But what's interesting, if you come on this website, people, down here, there's just so much. I know it's a bit overwhelming, but look at this. The average car in 2000 was $22,000. Now it's $50,000. The average median home in 2000, 162,000. Now it's 420,000. But look at this, the median income, it's only gone up 7,000 since 200.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, isn't it? So today we're talking about people living at home. There's a record number of 20-year-olds living at home. I mean, how the bloody hell do you expect them to move out of home when the prices have gone up like that?
Literally no surprise whatsoever.
I mean, it's literally like your only choice is to either be homeless, live in your car, or move back home. Let's look at some of these websites here. Let's look at some of these news articles. The number of families in England and Wales with adults living with their parents rose 13.6% between 2011, back when the world was semi-normal, and 2021. So it's nearly 3.8 million people who are between 20 and 30 are living at home now.
It's insane.
It is insane, isn't it? It's absolutely insane. And no surprise, when the prices are this absolutely ridiculous and the cost of living. This one here, number of adults living with their parents in England and Wales rise 700,000 in a decade. It's not a good trend, that. It's only going one way.
One of the reasons I ain't got an house yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're stuck in the renting circle right now. Yeah. It's like, how are you supposed to save up a deposit when you have your bills are going up? Have you had the emails through yet saying your council tax is going up?
Oh yeah, everything, mate. Everything. Energy bills, council tax, everything's just going up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So the trend's only going one way, people. Around 4 in 10 people renting think that would think about moving back in with their family so they could raise a deposit for their first home. These are people who don't have a deposit. These are people who are renting. Their only option to actually save up these days is moving back home with the parents. And I always say this to people, don't be ashamed about moving home. If you have to move home, do it. But actually use the time that you're going to be there to save up. Don't be a dickhead going on holidays. Don't be a dickhead spending your money. Actually use this time to save up money and better yourself.
It's fine renting for now, but then when it comes to it and you don't have any assets by the time you're 60 or come to retirement, then you're just fucked. You know what I mean?
You're literally just fucked. And if you can do this, I know no one's really on 220 grand a year, but look at this guy here. He's 31 years old, he earns 220 grand a year, and he saves 75% of his salary by living with his parents. Look at this. I'm grateful for this choice. If you've got good parents and you've got a good relationship with them, honestly, if you can go home for a few years, stack cash, save a deposit, and then get on the ladder, it's really not a bad way of doing it.
I might actually go do it myself, Michael.
You actually might do it yourself? Do you think you could live with Alison?
No, I don't think so, mate.
Okay, people. So it's not looking good out there. See it here. Look, we're nearly at 5 million now. It's up 15%. Let's check out these videos. Once again, I don't watch these videos before I watch them with you. But let's see what the world of TikTok is saying about people moving back home. Might get some good stuff here, people. And leave me a comment if you're going through this right now, or if you're a parent and your kids have moved home. Let me know where you're living in the world. I'd love to hear from the community.
Home is like literally the most frustrating thing in the world, and like I feel so ungrateful for like the way that I'm feeling, because I know that I'm like lucky that at least I like have a home to go to after I like left my job. Like I'm really lucky, but at the same time like it just contributes to like so much of like a loss in identity and like a loss in independence. Like someone is home all the time and I like don't have any privacy and I like don't have like any like spaces to myself. Coming back to like your childhood bedroom that like is just so not the person you are anymore, and like having all this like random shit and like it's not your space and it doesn't feel like your space anymore. And like side note, like my mom just decided to start renovating like half our house, so now like we're all on one side of the house and like in like another tiny room that's like not mine, and my stuff is everywhere. Not to mention like I don't see my fucking friends anymore. Like I genuinely...
But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. If you're moving home, you've got to see it as a short-term thing. Say, I'm going to move home for 2 years. I'm going to stack cash. And don't let it destroy your mental health. Still go see your friends. Still go do things. But don't let the moving from home be a negative. See it as a positive.
I think the problem is as well that is admitting that you're sort of moving on to your friends, because a lot of them are sort of moving on, they've got jobs. But for you to go home and stuff, that's like quite, you know.
Yeah. That's exactly it. You don't want to take the hit to your ego. That's
Yeah,
what it is. You don't want to take a hit to the ego, but see it as a benefit. See it as a benefit.
Just go like grab a coffee with someone after work or like meet them for lunch. Like I'm just in a different town, like miles and miles away. And don't even get me started on like the fact that you probably can't even date anyone because your parents are like all up in your business and like you've nowhere to like no space to bring them into. I feel so stupid for complaining about all of this because like people literally like are homeless and dying and like I'm complaining about being in my parents' house. So, champagne problems.
Yeah, guys, don't see it as a negative. I know it might be hard. Look at this comment here from Bad Girl Riri 3. Shout out Bad Girl Riri 3. They say having immigrant parents, you either move out and pay rent monetarily, or you stay at home and pay with your mental health. I'm not an immigrant. Me and Simon aren't immigrants, so I can't really comment on that. But that made me laugh. Next one.
So apparently being in your early 20s means that if you want to be happy and independent, you can move out but spend your whole salary on rent and just like never save any money because life is so expensive. Or you can stay at home with your parents for a bit and save a bit of money, but in return for that you have to sacrifice any inch of independence that you've ever had. And if you want to leave the four walls of your bedroom, you have to be prepared to answer 1,000 questions about your life. And if you don't answer the questions, then you're rude. And also you just feel like you're trapped in your 16-year-old's life because you've been in the same environment, in the same town your whole life. Oh my God. Does it get better? Please, someone tell me it gets better.
It does get better, but I hope she's just using this as a good chance to save and eventually you get out of this situation.
Yeah. That's the thing, some people might move home and it's like, have they even got a means to sort of make money from home?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah. And I know she's saying she's stuck in this 16-year-old mentality.
Yeah.
But you've kind of got to get yourself out of that. I know your parents might ask you questions moving from home, but just see it as a benefit and know there's a light at the end of the tunnel and you're going to get out.
You nailed it on the head in the last video though. So like if you actually, let's just say go up to town, you pull a girl and she finds out that you're living with your parents, it's kind of like, would they come home with you? Would they find it unattractive?
They
you know
would.
What I mean?
No, they definitely would, yeah. And you also have to have chill parents that would allow you to bring a girl home as well.
It'd be fucking awkward.
Yeah, it would be very, very awkward.
We were doing that shit when I was 16.
If you're thinking about staying at home for university, like living with your parents, this is what it's like. So I got a question on what it's like to live with your parents after high school, and I'm going to break down why I live with my parents and how it goes. I live in like the GTA, like Toronto, so there's a lot of schools, like universities that are commutable. So I go to one that is very easily commutable, and living with my parents has a lot of advantages. So for me, my parents weren't gonna like pay for like dorms or to go away, and that's totally fine. But because of that, I didn't want to take on like debt or loan. Another big factor was I also did have 2 other friends living at home and my boyfriend, so I wasn't completely isolated, whereas a lot of people feel like when they live at home all their friends go away and you have to make friends because that's hard. For example, if you go to a commutable school, it's very hard to make friends. I made a really good friend in my program, but she lives 5 minutes away, which is very uncommon. But I also have a really good home life. Like, I don't have strict parents. Parents are great, but they don't have, like, they're not overbearing. So I'm always allowed to go out. Like, I've had a boyfriend for a long time. I'm allowed to stay out as long as I text them. I can, like...
Yeah, that's it. Like, this girl's doing it right. She's got good energies about her. She's seeing it as, like, I didn't want to get into debt for university. And as you know from the channel, people, I hate people going into debt. And going university is the biggest scam.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, and the thing is, when you go to university, you're expected after. You don't really want to move home, but now people are like forced to do that, you know.
Yeah. But at least she's got some chill parents that let her have a boyfriend and stuff.
And he's in the same situation.
Parties, like, they don't care, and that's a huge factor. A lot of people go away to university for freedom, and because my parents like have never made me feel constrained. Staying at home was like the exact same. Like, I don't see how it would be any different. Some of the best advantages is like my parents cook, I get to eat food, they pay for food. There's so many expenses that you save on. They drive me, I use their car. I love my room, so I get to keep in my room. I'm just saving a lot of money. I can work. Really up to you. It just depends what kind of school you get into and what kind of life you want. Like, you want to probably go out a lot more once you're in university. If your parents are cool with that, then you probably won't have a problem living at home. they have a lot of strict rules and boundaries, and you might feel a little constrained, and then seeing all your friends go, you might feel a little FOMO, but I personally don't, so it's really up to you. Let me know.
Yeah, thank God she's got this positive energy. She's got a nice home situation, but I know everyone's not got this positive
That's the thing.
situation at home. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you've got like abusive parents or they're somewhat crazy,
Or you just don't get on with them. Like maybe it's not so bad, but
yeah,
you don't
the
get on.
energies, you don't want to be living in those energies all the time.
You always let your emotions get in the way. That's the problem with you, Lorelai. You don't think.
This is that same girl. She actually has a pretty chill life.
it looks
This is
pretty
like
chill.
her routine living at home. Nice coffee machine, lovely house.
Yeah, some people don't get on with this. Though,
Please. He's just a man, Lorelai.
No, he's not.
Oh, so what are you telling me? That this was all worth it because he was the love of your life. This was the man for you.
I don't know. He might have been.
Yeah, shout out this girl. You know what you're getting a follow. I like people who are have good energies. She seems like she has good energies.
Mom, can you record this? Mom, record it.
Record what, Shaheed?
I'm in my 20s and still live at home with my mom. Of course I don't pay rent.
Are you serious right now?
I'm in my 20s and I still live at home with my mom. Of course I tell everybody that I'm saving to move out, but I'm not.
You better be.
So you can fall into a trap,
Yeah, that is the trap, innit? That is the trap. At least I know this is a bit of a joke and stuff, but I bet there's a lot of people. I mean, it's going to take time for this to actually come out and stuff.
Yeah.
But I bet a lot of them actually don't move from home because they get too comfortable with it, sort of thing.
I'm in my 20s and I still live at home with my mom. Of course I eat all the snacks in the house and don't replace them. So my mom hides them from me. But I still find them though.
Serious, Shaheed? Stop. That is my...
I'm in my 20s and I still live at home with
I'm
my
done.
mom.
I'm not recording.
Mom, one
this
more.
anymore.
I gotta get this last one.
Yeah.
I'm in my 20s and I still live at home with my mom. Of course I get made fun of from people who are struggling, paying bills, living check to check, not knowing when their next meal is gonna be, worried about me and my living situation. Well, you need to be worried about getting that second job.
Guy's living his life.
Thanks, Mom, for recording for me.
Shane, I know you are saving your money though, right? You know, you better be saving.
Can you record this, Mom?
Yeah, his face at the end tells me he's probably not saving his money. But this is another guy, good relationship with his mum. I mean, it's better to live, if you've got a good relationship with your mum, than paying... I mean, you lived in Manchester, Simon.
Yeah.
It was like, what, $2,000 a month for rent?
Well, yeah, it was about 1,200 for rent, but then energy bills, everything
But
else
that was
on
also
top.
3 years ago, so
Yeah,
I bet
yeah.
that same nice flat
Oh,
that
mate,
you
it's
had,
gone up.
it's got to
When we
have gone
moved
to
out, I
that
think he
secret.
put it up by about another 300 quid.
Yeah.
Immediately. And that was like, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, exactly. So if you and Emily moved in with your mum, you could have been saving like 1,500,
Yeah.
1,700 every single month, stacking cash.
This video is for all my 20-something-year-olds that are still living at home. I graduated back in December 2021, and I got my first corporate job in February. So my job, their specific hubs were either New York or San Francisco, and I eventually ended up moving to San Francisco for a few months. And I say a few months because now I moved back home with my parents. While I was living out there, as everyone knows, San Francisco has very expensive rent. And I know from talking to different people, even people that have pretty good salaries, especially coming out of college. So thinking about our software engineers that are making great amount of money coming out of college, all of their money were still going into rent.
And that's the trap, people. Even people in San Francisco, when they're getting, six-figure salaries working in tech, if your rent is $3,000 every month, you're still barely making money there.
What is the average rent in San Francisco?
Oh, brother, San Francisco's one of the most expensive places.
Yeah.
It's also turned to shit as well, since it's sort of like they've adopted all those liberal policies.
Like everything else.
They've got all the homelessness their side. They've
Yeah.
got all the crime there. They've got all the drug addicts in the streets, and they're not really doing anything about it.
Fucking ridiculous. We need to clean up.
Yeah, we do need a real clean-up.
As I was reevaluating my budget and my decision of moving to San Francisco, it made me realize that I eventually do not want to work for the rest of my life and one day want to retire. That being starting my own business, that being investing in other avenues such as real estate, stocks, etc. And this was going to make it very...
Yeah, and I
need the
mean,
money.
she says if you're working in San Francisco, I mean, she looks well put together, this girl. I'm assuming she's got a decent paying job in San Francisco. She hasn't gone in town when she's earning. But even still, Simon, everything's so expensive over there. Like insurance is expensive. If you park your car in San Francisco, expect it to get broken into.
It's just designed to bleed you dry, innit?
Exactly, and that's the trap, and that is the trap.
Hard for me to do so if I was pouring all of my income into rent. There was also other factors that made me want to go back home. So home is Atlanta, Georgia. And this is why I reevaluated my decision and went back home. And why I'm sharing this story of like why I changed my mind in terms of moving to another state or like just leaving my parents is because it's okay to live with your parents when you're 20 something years old. I think especially with TikTok, we get caught up of all the aesthetics of having your own place, having your own apartment. And I also want to
influences this sort of lifestyle where it's unfeasible. Do you know what I mean?
It's ruined so many people's brains, Simon. Like the fact that they want to just keep up with the Joneses, but you're only seeing on Instagram the life that they show you. You're not seeing the past due bills,
or the fucking debt that they're in, the credit.
Or the fact that they're living on credit, or the fact that they're financing the Lambos, or the fact that they don't own anything.
Yeah.
And they'll put it out there, and it looks all great, and then all these young kids go, "Oh, I need my place. I need to get my own place," but it's all lies.
That I'm very blessed and I'm very grateful for my parents, that I have a very great relationship with them, and I'm also able to help them financially, such as like paying a few bills here and there. In order for me to save up my money and make sure that I'm using my money in a smart way, and make sure that I'm financially secure in terms of if one day I were to lose my job, especially in this market, I would be okay. So again, if you live at home, rack up that money and look at other avenues in order for you to make even more money.
She's right. Stack that cash, rack up that money. We'll do one more than get out of here, guys, but we've seen the trend, we've seen the stats. It's going one way. More people are moving back home. Leave me a comment. I love hearing from the community. Are you in your 20s and you've had to move home? How long have you been living at home for? Do you have a plan? And also, if you're a parent and you've got your kids who have moved back, leave me a comment, guys. I really want to find out this stuff from people on the ground. We'll do one more than get out of here.
Hello. You like my makeup? Yeah. Anyway, no. If you are between the ages of like early 20s to like late mid 20s, please stick around. Let's talk seriously really quickly. You know those people who say, "Oh yeah, stay at your parents' house for as long as you can. You're going to save so much money. You're going to do this." Don't listen to them. Please. Don't let them persuade you, okay? Do not feel bad for leaving your home. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of parents, we have to recover from their parenting, and I am starting to realize that. Like, I literally was so pissed off on New Year's Day. Like the day after, not like 12 o'clock, like waking up and it's New Year's Day. Like, I was so pissed off because they're just irritating me, right? I took a test that said that I was mildly depressed and I had mild anxiety. Like, I had low grade depression, low grade anxiety. And I'm like, wow, no shit. Because I felt like my behaviors were changing and I was becoming more dysfunctional and distressed. So I was like, okay, I need to figure out what is wrong with me. So now I'm trying to find a therapist. But it just goes to show you that 22 years of just trying to just be the best and just, stick it out and just no. I would rather work 2 jobs, have eggs in the fridge, and come home to a peaceful household. Not like people don't.
Do you know what? I'm actually glad we're ending on this one because it's showing the other side. It's showing the other side. Now, I'm assuming this girl doesn't have the best relationship with her parents.
Yeah.
She's saying it's stressful, this, that, and the other. I actually would like to know if she genuinely would rather work 2 jobs, pay all these bills, than be at home.
We'll throw her in that deep end and see if she can swim in it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
well, it sounds like that's what she's doing. And if
Yeah.
it works for her, it works from her. Like, look at this comment here. You're so right. My mum isn't crazy or anything, but I just feel so stagnant living at home.
Well, this is the
It's
thing, like, it's
discouraging.
not about, like, are your parents bad, but it's like, spend so much time with your siblings, you know how it is, you start arguing, you resent each other,
Yeah, and you're on top of each other. I totally get that. But I also think I personally would rather live at home than work 80 hours a week doing 2 jobs
Well, yeah.
just to pay the bills to get by.
Yeah.
We'll keep seeing where she's going. But yeah, glad we kind of saw the opposite side here.
Understand, like, if you're staying with your parents to save money and they're not crazy or they're not like in your face, great. But if you're developing mental illness, you need to like reevaluate. Staying at your home, at your parents' house, just to avoid like bills and stacking up your bread is not worth what you guys think it's worth. Like, it's really not. Like, it'll change your whole persona. It will, like, you'll feel stuck. You'll feel like you can't grow. And I think a lot of people don't understand, like, a lot of people thrive more when they leave the nest, like they move states. They have to put themselves in new environments for them to just grow and branch out. If you're staying at home just for the purpose of saving money for an apartment, you don't realize that you might be like really limiting yourself and, you know, stressing yourself out more. It's going to have an aversive effect on you, to be honest. But I think more people need to talk about the real side, like, oh, just suck it up, like, whatever, you're saving money. No. Like, I'm real life, I cannot focus. Like, I'm a person, I have to get things done a particular way. I'm very persistent. You know, I'm an overachiever. And just having them disrupt my brain stimulation, it causes me to have poor sleeping patterns, poor eating habits. I stop being active. And then all of these things that were great in my routine that kept me just sane and stimulated, having that disruption of them, no.
Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. If it's wrecking your mental health, if you've got a terrible situation with your parents, if it's abusive, if you've got a history there, obviously don't move home. You know, we don't want you to like destroy your mental health. But I don't think moving home for a few years to stack some cash and set yourself off in a good place, maybe if you have to pay your debts down or get a deposit saved up, I don't think it's the worst move.
It's like you said, give yourself a time limit too. Don't be there forever, you know?
Yeah,
2 years.
yeah. If you're
Smash
going
it.
back and you're like, oh, you know, you're just stagnating, yeah, maybe change it up. But if you see light at the end of the tunnel, plan it out, people. You know, we have to fight smart here. This comment here, I feel this so much, and then to top it off, Indian parents never want you to leave. I have 2% of people on the analytics from India who watch my videos, so shout out my Indian people. But leave me a comment if you're Indian and you're watching this. Do you agree with this? I've heard this from my Indian friends. You know, they have a real tight-knit community, the Indian families. So, yeah, I think they have that situation where they just don't want you to move out. But we'll leave it there, guys. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this one. Leave me a comment. Love hearing from the community. And I'll catch you on the next one.
See you later, guys.
Bye.